Stop for a second. If you've ever felt a strange tension between you and a woman, like something important is being held just out of reach, this message is for you. That quiet distance, the pauses, the mixed signals, they aren't accidents, they are emotional protection. And if you don't understand what you're seeing, you will miss the moment entirely. I'm speaking to you not as an entertainer, but as a psychologist who has watched men misread this pattern for decades. Before we go deeper, take 1 second to support this work. Subscribe to the channel and like this video, because what you're about to hear rarely gets said out loud, and it could change how you see every connection you have from here on. When a woman has feelings she isn't ready to reveal, her behavior becomes a contradiction. She is drawn to you, but afraid of what that draw might cost her. So instead of moving closer, she tightens control. She may become unusually composed around you, emotionally polished, even colder than expected. This is not disinterest, it is regulation. Her nervous system is trying to keep her safe from exposure. Strong feelings create vulnerability, and vulnerability feels dangerous when the outcome is uncertain. You'll notice she listens more than she speaks. She remembers details you forgot you shared. She asks questions that seem casual, but land exactly where they need to. This is emotional surveillance. She is learning you quietly, trying to assess whether her feelings are safe to hold or need to be buried. Men often mistake this for friendliness. It's not. It's caution mixed with attachment. Another subtle sign is delayed reactions. She doesn't respond immediately to emotional moments. Compliments, closeness, even tension may be met with silence or a soft deflection. Internally, she is processing too much at once. Feelings rise, fear follows, and her response gets postponed. What looks like indifference is actually emotional overload. Pay attention to inconsistency. Warmth one day, distance the next. This push and pull is not manipulation. It's internal conflict. Part of her wants connection. Another part is terrified of losing control. When feelings are mutual but unspoken, both people feel it, but the one who risks more emotionally will hesitate first. If you felt this energy, trust it. Chemistry doesn't come from imagination. It comes from two nervous systems recognizing each other before words are allowed to catch up. When feelings exist on both sides but remain unspoken, the tension doesn't disappear, it mutates. One of the clearest psychological signs is heightened self-awareness around each other. She suddenly becomes more careful with her words, her tone, even her body language when you're present. This isn't performance for attention, it's self-protection. When emotions are involved, every interaction feels consequential, and she knows one wrong move could reveal more than she's ready to show. You may notice she avoids defining the connection. Conversations drift close to emotional truth, then subtly change direction. This avoidance isn't confusion, it's fear of confirmation. Naming feelings makes them real, and real things demand decisions. If she senses you feel something too, the pressure doubles. Now it's not just her secret, it's a shared risk. So she keeps things undefined, floating in ambiguity where nothing has to be acted on yet. Another sign is emotional mirroring. Without realizing it, she matches your energy. If you pull back, she pulls back. If you open up slightly, she softens in response. This happens when two people are emotionally attuned but cautious. Her system is constantly checking yours for safety cues. She's not leading or following, she's syncing. And syncing only happens when emotional investment is already present. There's also an unusual sensitivity to your approval. Not dramatic, not obvious, but subtle. She notices small changes in your mood. She reacts internally to your silence. A neutral comment from you might linger in her mind longer than it should. When feelings are mutual but hidden, both people become emotionally vigilant. Every signal feels amplified because the stakes feel higher, even if no one has admitted why. You might also sense restraint during moments that could deepen intimacy. The laugh that cuts short, the story she almost tells but doesn't, the eye contact that breaks too soon. These are breaks, not walls. She's not shutting you out. She's stopping herself from falling too fast. Emotional restraint is often mistaken for lack of interest, but psychologically, it's the opposite. You don't restrain what you don't care about. What's important here is this: mutual feelings don't always create momentum. Sometimes they create paralysis. When both people feel it, both are waiting for safety, both are watching, both are afraid of being the one who reveals first and loses control. And in that quiet standoff, the truth lives in the details, not the declarations. There is a moment that happens when two people share unspoken feelings, and it's easy to miss if you don't know what you're looking for. Conversation becomes charged, even when the topic is ordinary. Silence feels heavier than it should. Eye contact lingers just a fraction longer, then breaks as if something dangerous almost surfaced. This isn't imagination, it's emotional activation. Your presence triggers something in her that she hasn't given herself permission to name. One powerful sign is selective vulnerability. She doesn't open up about everything, but when she does, it's precise. She shares thoughts or experiences that reveal her inner world, then quickly shifts the topic. This is a test. She's showing you a piece of herself while watching closely how you handle it. Mutual feelings create a desire to be seen, but fear controls how much is revealed at once. You may notice she becomes more protective of her independence around you. She emphasizes being busy, self-sufficient, emotionally strong. This isn't a rejection of closeness, it's a shield. When someone feels emotionally drawn, they often overcorrect by reinforcing autonomy. It's her way of saying, even to herself, that she's still in control. The stronger the feelings, the stronger this display can become. Another subtle sign is emotional leakage. Despite her efforts to stay contained, small cracks appear. A sudden softness in her voice, a genuine concern for your well-being that goes beyond politeness, a reaction that seems too personal for the level of connection you've defined. These moments slip out when the emotional load becomes too heavy to carry silently. You might also feel an unspoken agreement forming. Certain topics are avoided by both of you. Certain jokes are never made. Certain lines are not crossed, not because they're forbidden, but because crossing them would force a reckoning. This mutual restraint is deeply psychological. Both of you know something exists, and both of you are protecting it by not touching it directly. What men often misunderstand is that when a woman hides deep feelings, she doesn't become distant in every way. She becomes specific. She invests emotionally in small, controlled ways. She pays attention. She remembers. She cares quietly. And if you're feeling the same pull but also the same hesitation, that's not coincidence. That's emotional symmetry. Two people standing at the edge of truth, unsure who will step forward first. When feelings are mutual but unspoken, time itself starts to behave differently between you. Interactions feel significant, even when nothing dramatic happens. A short conversation can stay with you for hours. A brief message can shift your mood. This psychological weight is not created by fantasy. It's created by emotional relevance, and she feels it too, even if she never acknowledges it out loud. One subtle behavior is controlled availability. She doesn't disappear, but she also doesn't make herself fully accessible. She responds, but on her terms. She shows interest, but with boundaries. This balance allows her to stay connected without giving her emotions full exposure. When a woman has feelings she's hiding, she manages access carefully, not to manipulate, but to regulate how deeply she gets pulled in. You may also notice heightened awareness of how you see her. She pays attention to your reactions more than she admits. A small shift in your tone can change hers. A sign of approval from you lands deeper than it should. This is not insecurity. It's emotional investment. When feelings are present, validation carries more weight, even when someone tries to act unaffected. Another sign appears in moments of separation. When you're not around, she may create reasons to reconnect that feel natural and low risk. A shared interest, a practical question, a casual update. These are bridges, not accidents. They allow contact without forcing emotional exposure. If feelings were absent, distance would feel neutral. When feelings are mutual, distance creates a quiet pull. There's also a subtle softening of judgment around you. She may be more forgiving of your flaws, more patient with your silences, more curious about your intentions. This doesn't come from logic. It comes from emotional bias. When someone matters, the mind looks for reasons to keep them close, even when uncertainty exists. You might sense moments where she almost crosses the line into honesty, then pulls back. A sentence left unfinished, a look held too long, a comment that could mean more but stays safely ambiguous. These are not games, they are pressure valves. Her emotions are looking for release, but fear is still in control. The truth most men never hear is this: mutual feelings don't always feel exciting. Often they feel heavy. They create caution, restraint, and self-monitoring. Both people are aware that something real is forming, and real things can change lives. So instead of rushing forward, both hesitate. And in that hesitation, the clearest signs are not loud actions, but quiet consistency. Presence without possession, care without claims, connection without confession. As time passes, another psychological sign begins to surface, one that most men completely misread. She becomes emotionally predictable with you, but only in subtle ways. Not routine, not boring, but reliably attentive. She shows up emotionally when it matters, even if she stays reserved on the surface. This consistency is not accidental. When feelings are mutual, the bond stabilizes beneath the uncertainty. Her emotions have chosen you, even if her words have not. You may notice that she treats your opinions differently from others. A comment from you carries more weight. Your perspective influences her thinking. She might not openly seek your approval, but she adjusts herself in response to you. Psychologically, this indicates emotional alignment. When two people share feelings, they begin to unconsciously prioritize each other's inner world. Another sign is emotional tension during moments of potential loss. If you mention other women, distance, or change, her reaction may be subtle but revealing. A shift in tone, a brief withdrawal, a sudden seriousness. This isn't jealousy in the dramatic sense, it's threat response. Her emotional system reacts because something valuable feels at risk, even if she believes she has no right to claim it. You may also experience moments of emotional clarity followed by confusion. There are times when everything feels obvious, when connection feels undeniable. Then, suddenly, it feels uncertain again. This fluctuation happens when feelings exist but remain unspoken. Without clarity, the mind fills gaps with doubt. Both of you oscillate between knowing and questioning because neither has anchored the truth with words. She may also show increased respect for your boundaries. This is important. When feelings are shallow, boundaries feel inconvenient. When feelings are deep, boundaries feel sacred. She doesn't push too hard. She doesn't demand more than you offer. She waits. This patience is not passivity. It's emotional intelligence. She understands that forcing closeness could destroy what's forming. There's also a quiet pride in you that she tries to hide. She notices your growth, your discipline, your values. She may acknowledge it indirectly, or not at all, but internally, it matters. Mutual feelings often express themselves as admiration before romance. Respect creates safety. Safety allows emotion to deepen. What you must understand is this: when feelings are mutual but hidden, the connection lives in restraint, in what isn't said, in what isn't rushed, in what is protected. This is not the absence of desire. It is desire under control. And if you are feeling the same pull, the same hesitation, the same awareness of stakes, then you are not imagining it. You are standing in the presence of something real, something unresolved, something waiting for courage to catch up to truth. There comes a stage where the emotional undercurrent becomes impossible to ignore, even though nothing has been declared. This is where mutual feelings begin to shape behavior in deeper, more psychological ways. One of the clearest signs is emotional anticipation. She seems to sense your moods before you express them. She adjusts herself instinctively, offering support, space, or warmth without being asked. This isn't coincidence. Emotional attunement develops when two people are internally connected. You may also notice a shift in how conflict or tension is handled. Even small misunderstandings carry more weight. She becomes more careful not to hurt you, more thoughtful in how she responds. Or if something does go wrong, it affects her more than she lets on. When feelings are mutual, emotional friction feels riskier because the bond feels valuable, even if undefined. Another sign is internal comparison. Without saying it, she measures other connections against you. Conversations with others feel flatter. Interactions elsewhere don't carry the same depth. You become a reference point in her emotional landscape. This doesn't mean she withdraws from the world. It means you occupy a unique psychological space that can't easily be replaced. There's also an increase in emotional memory. She remembers how you made her feel, not just what you said or did. Certain moments replay in her mind. Certain interactions stay vivid. When feelings are mutual but hidden, memory becomes selective. The mind preserves what matters most, even when the heart stays quiet. You might sense a quiet loyalty forming. She defends you internally, even if no one else knows it. She gives you the benefit of the doubt. She assumes positive intent. This isn't blind idealization. It's emotional bias born from connection. When someone matters, the psyche protects the bond. At the same time, fear doesn't disappear. In fact, it often grows. The more real the feelings become, the more there is to lose. So you may notice moments where she pulls back just when closeness feels possible. This isn't regression, it's self-preservation. Her system is trying to slow something that feels powerful enough to change her life. What's important for you to understand is this: mutual feelings don't always move forward smoothly. Often they spiral inward first. Both people become more reflective, more cautious, more aware of consequences. The connection deepens quietly, privately, without witnesses. If you feel this same internal shift, this heightened awareness, this carefulness with her emotions, then you are already part of the dynamic. Two people sensing the same truth, both waiting for the moment when fear loosens its grip and honesty finally feels safer than silence. At the deepest level, when feelings are mutual but hidden, something fundamental changes in how you both experience connection. It becomes less about excitement and more about meaning. You don't just enjoy her presence, you feel altered by it, and she feels the same shift even if she never admits it. This is the final psychological sign: emotional gravity. No matter how far you drift, there is a pull that brings your attention back to each other. You may notice that she becomes unusually honest in indirect ways. She speaks about values, fears, and future possibilities, but frames them generally, not personally. This is emotional disclosure in disguise. She is revealing her inner framework without attaching it directly to you, allowing truth to exist without forcing a decision. When feelings are mutual, people look for safe ways to be known. There is also a growing sense of respect for timing. She doesn't rush you. She doesn't pressure outcomes. She allows space for growth, for clarity, for life to unfold. This patience is not lack of desire. It's trust in depth. Shallow connections demand immediacy. Deep ones can wait because they feel solid, even in silence. You might sense moments of emotional surrender that appear briefly, then disappear. A look that feels like recognition, a moment of warmth that feels like home. These are glimpses of what she feels when her guard drops. They don't last long because vulnerability still feels risky, but they are real, and they don't happen without mutual emotion. Another sign is that she seems to care about who you are becoming, not just who you are now. She pays attention to your direction, your discipline, your integrity. This future-oriented attention is psychological commitment without declaration. Her feelings are not just about attraction, they are about alignment. What many men don't realize is that when a woman hides deep feelings, she isn't waiting for perfection. She's waiting for safety. Emotional safety, clarity, maturity. She wants to know that if she reveals herself, she won't lose herself. And if you are feeling the same hesitation, the same weight, the same awareness of consequences, then the truth is already shared, even if it's unspoken. The final truth I want you to hear is this: mutual feelings don't disappear because they're hidden. They either deepen quietly or fade from neglect. Awareness is power. If you recognize these signs, don't rush, but don't stay unconscious either. Lead with steadiness, with presence, with emotional clarity. Because when two people feel it and both are afraid to say it, the one who brings safety, not pressure, becomes unforgettable.